Welcome. Today we're going to access our C3 microcloud as a guest, in other words, a user who doesn't log in. First of all, we're going to access the system. The first option we'll look at is Content. It can be accessed either from the menu on the left or from the main page itself. Within the Contents page, you can search for a specific content that you need to access. Just type in the initials in the search field, and the result will be shown on the main page itself. It is important to note that this content page will show all content that has been registered for public access. Otherwise, visitors would not be able to access it. In addition to this simplified search, I can also click on this Search Filter button. When I click, a box will open where I can refine my search. As you can see on the screen, there are several filter options. We'll start with the type of result we want this search to be organized by. Here we have the option of organizing the results by name, creation, and content update. All these options can be selected in ascending or descending order. After selecting the type of result organization you want, you can filter the type of content you want to search for. There are several options for file types, as you can see: all content, C3 files, C3 content, content packages, folders, images, PDFs, URLs, videos, and wikis. After selecting the type of file you want to search for, you can then select the content source. That is, whether we want the search filter to be made for all content sources, only local content, or only content that came from C3 Cloud Control. Next, we will have the option of refining the search by content grade, subject, and topic. We'll select each of them, remembering that the search options here will include the grades, subjects, and topics registered in our C3 microcloud LMS and assigned to each of the contents when they were registered. Once you have chosen the grade, subject, and topic of the content to be filtered, you will then have the option of enabling or disabling the display of grids and subjects in the content cards. Note in the example that if this option is enabled, the content cards will show the grades and subjects. However, if this option is disabled, as shown on the screen, the card will omit this grade and subject information, although it will keep it in its record. In this case, the omission of this information is just a user viewing preference. It is important to note that whether or not this Show Grades and Subjects option is enabled, the result of my search filter will be done correctly and in accordance with the search refinement carried out. To get this result on the main page, we'll click on the Close button, as shown, and the filter box will be closed. On my main page, we'll have the result of all this search refinement we've just carried out. But if, instead of clicking on Close, we click on the Clear button in the search filter box, all the refinement we have done will be deleted. This way, all the content available for public access will be shown again on the main page. Returning to the C3 microcloud homepage, we have the option of accessing the applications. This can be done either from the menu on the left or from the main page, where there are two access options, either from the Applications button or from the icon in the top right-hand corner of the screen. When you go to the Apps page, as with the Content page, only those apps that have been registered for public access will be shown. You can perform a search by typing in the initials of a particular application, and the result will be shown on the main page, as shown in the example. As a visitor, you can also access the manual by clicking on the main page. We will then be directed to the manual document, which contains all the details and instructions for C3 microcloud. Finally, as a visitor, we can also change the language of our C3 microcloud to suit our needs. Critical Links thanks you for your attention. Critical